the class. Our subject is computer networks. So here computer network is a group of computers linked to each other that enables the computers to communicate with another computer and share their resources, data and applications. Here a computer network is a group of computers linked to each other that enables the computers to communicate with another computer, enables the computer to communicate with another computer and share the resources and data and any other applications. So that is the definition of the subject computer networks. So your computer network is a set of computers connected together for the purpose of sharing resources. Let us see the syllabus. So here unit 1, network topologies and different types of networks, wide area network, local area network, metropolitan area network, and two reference models, OSI reference model and TCP IP reference model, and comparison of these two reference models, OSI reference model and TCP IP reference model differences. So this is about the unit 1, just 5 topics: network topologies, different types of networks like wide area network, local area network, and metropolitan area network, and reference models, OSI reference model, and TCP IP reference model. And the last topic, comparison of OSI and TCP IP reference model. See here, OSI reference model has 7 layers here: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. So our syllabus is here. Our syllabus is here. See here, unit 1. Just these two reference models, OSI and TCP IP. Unit 2, physical layer. And next, unit 3, data link layer. And unit 4, medium access control sublayer, that is MAC sublayer. So this one is the sublayer in the data link layer. And next, unit 5, next layer, network layer. And next, unit 6, transport layer. And next, session layer and presentation layer are not discussed briefly. Next, last layer is application layer. Okay, these are the units. Unit 1, topologies, types of networks, two reference models, OSI and TCP IP. And next, OSI reference model is 7 layers. So here first we discuss first layer, that is physical layer, that is unit 2. So in this physical layer, we discuss different types of multiplexing, frequency division multiplexing, time division multiplexing, and code division multiplexing. And next, unit 3, data link layer, that is second layer in the OSI reference model, data link layer. So in this data link layer, we will discuss error correcting and error detecting codes and different types of data link protocols here, elementary data link protocols and sliding window protocols. And next layer, third layer, that is network layer here, unit 4, unit 5, network layer design issues. That means different routing algorithms. So here unit 4 is medium access control sublayer. So this one is the sublayer in the data link layer. So physical layer, second unit, data link layer, third unit and fourth unit, and next fifth unit, network layer, and last sixth unit, transport layer and application layer. Okay. So session layer and presentation layer not discussed here. So this is about the syllabus. And next, course outcomes. That means after the completion of course, the student will be able to explain the concept of network reference models. After completion of course, the student will be able to explain or understand the concept of network reference model. That is unit 1. CO1 corresponds to unit 1, that is here, reference models, OSI reference model and TCP IP reference model. Next, CO2, after completion of course, you will be able to analyze the various protocols of data link layer and classification of multiplexing, that is unit 2. Here CO2 corresponds to the unit 2. After completion of course, you will be able to analyze the various protocols of data link layer, that is Various protocols of data link layer means here elementary data link protocols and sliding window protocols. Next one, CO5. Compare and analyze different routing and connection control algorithms of network layer. Compare and analyze different routing and connection control algorithms of network layer. So this CO5 corresponds to this unit 5. Okay, that is routing algorithms in the network layer. After completion of course, you will be able to understand all the routing algorithms in the network layer. Next, CO6, explain the concept of transport and application layer. That is unit 6. After completion of course, computer networks course, you will be able to understand the protocols in transport layer like TCP and UDP and application layer. Okay. So these are the course outcomes of CN, computer networks. After completion of course, you will be able to explain the concept of network reference model. You will be able to analyze the various protocols of data link layer and classification of multiplexing. You will be able to analyze the design issues of data link layer. You will be able to explain the concept of medium access control sublayer, and you will be able to compare different routing algorithms present in the network layer. Next, last one, you will be able to explain the concept of transport and application layer. That means after completion of course, you will be able to understand the what is transmission control protocol and what is user datagram protocol and other protocols present in the application layer like HTTP and FTP. So this is about the course outcomes and syllabus. Let us go to unit 1. So here unit 1 is introduction to computer networks, network topologies, types of networks, and reference models, two reference models, OSI reference model and TCP/IP reference model. Here, first one, computer network. Here, a computer network is a set of computers connected together for the purpose of sharing resources. Here, a computer network is a group of computers linked to each other that enables the computer to communicate with another computer and share their resources, data, and applications. That is the definition of computer network. See, this one is the diagram representing data communication. So this data communication system have 5 components. So first one here, message. So this message is information to be communicated between sender and receiver. This message is the information to be communicated between sender and receiver. Next, sender. So here sender is the device that sends the data message. Here sender is the device that sends the data, that sends the information. And receiver. Next, third component, receiver. Here the receiver is the device that receives the message. So sender sends the message and receiver receives the message. Next one here, medium, transmission medium. So here the transmission medium is the physical path by which a message travels from sender to receiver. So here sender sends the data to the receiver by using this transmission medium. So this transmission medium include twisted pair cables, any coaxial cables, or any fiber optics cables, or any radio waves. Okay. And next, last component, protocol. So here protocol is the set of rules or set of standards. Protocols, here a protocol is a set of rules that govern data communication. So here a protocol is a set of rules or standards. So without protocol, two devices may be connected but not communicated. So without protocols, two devices may be connected but not communicated. So this data communication system have 5 components. So first component is message. So here the message is the information to be communicated or data to be communicated. Next, the second one, sender. So here the sender is the device that sends the message. And next, third one, receiver. So here receiver is the device that receives the message. Next, fourth component here, medium, transmission medium. Yet the transmission medium is the physical path by which a message travels from sender to receiver. So some examples of transmission medium are twisted pair cables, fiber optics, or coaxial cables, and radio waves. And last component, protocol, is a set of rules or set of standards. Without protocol, two devices may be connected but not communicated. Next one, data flow. So here, the communication between two devices can be simplex, half duplex, third one, full duplex. Data flow, how data is flowed between the two devices. So the communication between two devices can be simplex, half duplex, third one, full duplex. So let us discuss each one. First one here, simplex. So in simplex mode, communication is unidirectional. Only one of the two devices on a link can transmit. The other can only receive. First one, simplex. In simplex mode, the communication is unidirectional, or one way can transmit. The other one can only receive. Okay. So here first figure, first diagram here, simplex, that is here the monitor can only accept output. The monitor can only accept output. So here first one, simplex mode. That means in simplex mode, the communication is unidirectional or one-way stream. That means only one of the two devices on link can transmit, the other can only receive. See in this diagram, the monitor can only accept output and the keyboard can only introduce input. Okay. And second one, off duplex. So in off duplex mode, each station can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. So in off duplex mode, each station can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. That means when one device is sending, the other can only the receive, and vice versa. When one device is sending, the other can only receive the data. See here, station 1, station 2. So if station 1 is sending the data, then station 2 is receiving the data. Okay, if station 2 is sending the data, then station 1 is only receiving the data. That means each station can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. Okay, next, suppose station 1 sends the data at time 1, and next station 2 sends the data at time 2. Next, full duplex. So in full duplex, both stations can transmit and receive simultaneously. In full duplex, both station can transmit and receive the data simultaneously. That means station 1 sends the data at time 1, and station 2 also sends the data at time 1. That is the difference between off duplex and full duplex. In off duplex mode, each station can both transmit and receive, but not at the same time. In full duplex mode, both stations can transmit and receive the data simultaneously. Next one here, topologies. So here, the topology of a network is geometric representation of relationship of all the links and linking devices to one another. So here the topology means geometric representation of relationship of all the links and linking devices to one another. So here the topology means it defines the structure how devices are connected. That is a definition of topology. So different types of topologies are mesh topology, star topology, bus topology, and ring topology. So let us discuss each topology. So here topology defines the structure how devices are connected. The topology of network is geometric representation of relationship of all the links and linking devices to one another. So first one, mesh topology. Here in mesh topology, each device has dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. See, in this mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. See here, station. Suppose this station is connected to every station. Here, station is connected to every other station. Okay. That means in mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. Here, the term dedicated means the link carries traffic only between the two devices it connects. Suppose here, this station connected to this station. So the traffic carries only between these two devices. Okay. That means here, this station connected to node station 1 connected to, suppose here 5 stations. In this diagram there are 5 stations. So this station connected to remaining 4 stations. Okay, suppose this one is the station 5. So this station 5 connected to total 5 stations. So 5 minus 1 station, that is 4 stations. So in this diagram there are 5 stations. So one station is connected to all other 4 stations. So in mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. So node 1, that is station 1, must be connected to n-1 nodes. Node 2, station 2 must be connected to n-1 nodes. And last node, station node n, that is station n, must be connected to n-1 nodes. That is the mesh topology. So the advantage of mesh topology is the use of dedicated links guarantees that each connection can carry its own data load by eliminating the traffic problems. So there are no traffic problems in mesh topology. Why? Because each station has its own dedicated link. Next, the disadvantage of mesh topology is, so amount of cabling is high. That means that more cables are required to connect the devices. More cables are required to connect the devices. Why? Because every device is connected to remaining all other devices in the network. So the amount of cabling is required more. That is the disadvantage in mesh topology. Next, star topology. So in a star topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point link only to a central controller, usually called a hub. See here, each device, station 1 has a dedicated point-to-point link to the central controller called hub. Next, station 2 has a dedicated point-to-point link to a central controller, usually called a hub. Okay, and remaining stations also have a dedicated point-to-point links to a central controller hub. This hub acts as an exchange point. This hub, that is the controller, acts as an exchange point. Suppose if station 1 wants to send data to station 2, so it's station 1 first sends the data to controller. Okay, then this controller sends the data to other device, other station. Okay, so if station 1 sends the data to station 2, if station 1 wants the send data to the station 2, this station 1 first send data to hub, that is controller. Then that hub forwards the data to connected device, station 2. Okay, that is the star topology. So in star topology, the devices are not directly linked to one another. In star topology, the devices are not directly linked to one another. So the main advantage of star topology is, suppose if one link fails, suppose here the station 1 to hub, this link is fails. So all other links remains active. That means these three links are not affected. Okay. So that is the main advantage of star topology. Suppose the link between station 1 and hub fails, then remaining three links are not affected. All other links are active. So that is the main advantage of star topology. Next, the major disadvantage of star topology is, so total this complete topology depends on single point hub. If hub goes down, the whole system is crashed. Okay, the whole system is dead. The major disadvantage of star topology is dependence of this complete topology on single point hub. If this controller hub goes down, the complete system is dead. That is a major disadvantage of star topology. Next one, bus topology. So yet bus topology, one long cable acts as backbone to link all the devices in a network. See here, one long cable. So this one, all the devices are connected to the this long cable. Okay, one long cable acts as a backbone to the link all the devices in a network. So this long cable acts as backbone to the link the all the devices in a network. So nodes here, stations are connected to this cable by using drop lines and taps. So here stations or nodes, these stations are connected to the cable by using drop lines or taps. So here drop line is a connection between the station and cable. Here drop line is a connection between station and cable. Okay, and next Here tap. Here a tap is a connector that either splices into the main cable. Here tap, 3 taps, 1, 2, 3. So here tap is a connector. Here tap is a connector that either splices into the main cable. Okay. So this is about the bus topology. So the advantage of bus topology is, so it is easy to install the network by using one long cable. So bus topology, the main advantage of bus topology is installation is very easy. So the disadvantage of bus topology is, so it is difficult to add any new devices. Suppose there are 3 stations in this topology in this diagram. So if you want to add station 4, so that one is difficult. Next one, ring topology. So in ring topology, each device has dedicated point-to-point connection with only 2 devices on either side of it. See here. Each device has a dedicated point-to-point connection with only 2 devices on either side of it. See here, station 1, so station 2 one side and station 3 another side. Okay, suppose this station 1 one side. So there are 2 other stations on either side of it, left side and right side. Okay. So here a signal is passed along the ring in one direction. A signal is passed along the ring in one direction from one device to another device until it reaches its destination. So that is about the ring topology. So in a ring topology, each device or each station has point-to-point connection with only 2 devices on either side of it, or with only 2 stations on either side of it. Suppose station 1 has one side of station 2 and another side station 3. See here repeaters. So what is the use of repeaters? So here when a station receives a signal intended for another device, so this repeater generates the bits and passes the along the stations and passes them along the stations. So this is about the topologies. Mesh topology, star topology, bus topology, and ring topology. Next one, categories of networks. So different categories of networks are local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. First one here, local area network. So local area network are generally called LANs. Here LANs are privately owned networks within a single building or campus of up to few kilometers in a size. So here LAN, local area networks, are privately owned networks within a single building or single campus or one college. So up to few kilometers in a size. So here local area networks are used to connect personal computers and workstations in company offices and colleges to share the resources and exchange the information. Local area networks are privately owned networks within a single campus or any single college. So here local area networks are used to connect personal computers within the company or within the college to share the resources and to exchange the, in our lab, different computers are connected by using the cable. Okay. And next, so this one is also another topology, ring topology. See here. all the computers in our lab are connected in the ring topology format. Okay, ring topology structure. So this one bus topology structure. Next one, metropolitan area network, MAN, metropolitan area network. So here a metropolitan area network covers a city. That means within the city. Metropolitan area network means the network within the city. So the best example of metropolitan area network is cable TV, cable television network. Okay. So first here one large antenna was placed on the top of the hill. Okay. And signal, then that signal is piped to the subscribers' houses. Okay. So first there is one antenna that was placed on the top of the nearby hill, and that signal, antenna signal, was piped to the subscribers' houses by using cables. Okay. And here head end. So this head end is the mediator between the internet and antenna, and this head end then traverses the data, then flows the data to the junction boxes. Okay. So there are different junctions, and there is one box at the each junction, and then it passes the signals to the subscribers houses. So first there is one antenna. That antenna was placed on the top of the hill, and then that signal was piped to the subscribers houses through the head end. This head end is the mediator between the internet and antenna. See here in this diagram. So here television signals, that means from antenna, television signals and internet are fed into the one centralized head end for subsequent distribution to the people homes. Okay. See here television signals from antenna and information from internet are fed into one centralized head end for subsequent distribution to the subscribers homes through the junction boxes. Here metropolitan area network. So the example of metropolitan area network is cable television network. So one antenna is placed at the top of the hill. Okay. And head end. So in this diagram, antenna and internet are fed into one centralized head end here for subsequent distribution to the people's homes, subscribers' homes. This head end is used for subsequent distribution to subscribers' homes. So here head end retrieves the signals from antenna and gets the information from internet and distribute to the subscribers' homes through the junction boxes. So this is about metropolitan area network within the city. Next, wide area network. Next one, wide area network. So here a wide area network means the network within the country or any continent, or this wide area network covers a large geographical area. This wide area network covers a geographical area and country or any continent. So your wide area network contains a collection of machines intended for running programs. So these machines are called hosts. Here, machines are called hosts. Sending host, receiving host. So your wide area network contains a collection of machines intended for running the user programs or any application programs. So wide area network contains a collection of machines. So these machines are called hosts. Sending host, receiving host. So here the hosts are owned by the customers, people's personal computers or laptops. Here the hosts are customers or your personal computers like laptops. Whereas this communication subnet here, this circle, communication subnet is owned by any telephone company or any internet service provider. Okay, so your sending host and receiving host are the your laptop, and this subnet is telephone company like BSNL or any internet service provider like any act. Okay, see here the journey here, the job of subnet is carry messages from sending host to receiving host. See this circle, subnet, the job of this subnet is carry messages from sending host to the receiving host.